In yoga, we breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You will find exceptions to that, but in this video, we'll focus on the breath in through the nose and out through the nose and explain why we do that in yoga. And we'll also do 6 yoga poses that are great for your lungs. Start in a standing position at the top of your mat and inhale. Reach your arms up. As you inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. On the next inhale, maybe you can take your hands back just a little bit more to feel this opening of the upper chest. Exhale, take your hands down to the earth with the hands alongside your ankles. Step yourself back to a plank position so that you can lower yourself all the way to the mat. So once you're at the mat, have your forearms down. As you press your forearms, pull the elbows back toward the heels and draw your heart forward. And exhale, soften. This form of Cobra opens the upper chest with strong actions of the forearms. You pull the elbows back to prepare you for our first yoga pose to open the upper chest and get more fullness in the lungs. Place your hands right alongside your ribs. On the next inhale breath, draw your heart forward as you take the heads of the arm bones back. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and soften. Again, inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. Come to all fours position. And pause for a moment. You can pause in downward facing dog or child's pose. We draw the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So many benefits. You may have heard of people in sports being in the zone, and they're able to use the fullness of the in-breath and the out-breath in such a way so as to put themselves in that zone so much more effectively. When we breathe in through the nose, not only is it a wonderful filtration system, but it also humidifies the breath and warms the air. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, notice how your diaphragm moves. Perhaps some of us aren't that familiar with the diaphragm. So take your hands just below your low ribs and cough 3 times. Do you feel that pulsation when you cough? The diaphragm moves. In diaphragmatic breath, which we practice in yoga, you feel the expansion in the palms of the hands on the in-breath. And on the exhale breath, you'll just feel as the diaphragm moves up toward the heart, you feel the navel drawing back toward the spine. Let's do another pose that's really helpful for opening the upper chest and getting this fullness in the front body. So come to standing pose and step nice and wide. Both Cobra and triangle pose, which we're about to do, are poses that we do practically every practice. So as you step wide, look at your feet to make sure that you've got a nice line up. As you turn your right toes out, inhale, lift your arms up, so that you get this nice fullness. Before going into the pose, engage very fully by drawing in from your toes all the way to the pelvis, all the way from the fingertips to the heart and to the pelvis. Draw down, take your right hand down to your shin, reach your left arm up. And if you'd like a little bit more space, maybe you can just vary it slightly by reaching slightly over. And you find this fullness in the pose. You're drawing in through the nose, out through the nose with the fullness of your breath. Root down through the back foot to inhale and lift yourself up out of the pose so that you can come to the left side. You can release your hands. Once again, line up the front heel with the back arch. Inhale, lift your arms up with fullness of the in-breath through the nose. Draw your hand down. Reach your right arm up. And just enjoy your breath here. Keep a nice engagement, again, through the legs, through the arms. Maybe even take your arms slightly over so that you get further elongation from the pelvis, out through the fingertips, out through the crown of your head. Feel such nice length. Now root down through the back foot to inhale and lift yourself up to come out of the pose. Exhale and release your hands. Let's come to all fours position. In all fours position, step your right foot right between your hands. Now place your hands right above your right knee. We'll do a variation of camel pose or Ustrasana pose that's pretty accessible to all of us. This is number 3 in our poses. So reach toward your low back with your left hand. Reach up with your right hand and slightly back to open your chest. Now, of course, there are deeper variations. You can take your hand down to your foot if you wish and release your hand. Let's come to a kneeling position again so that you can trade sides. So step your left foot forward. And once again, in this kneeling position, you find this fullness. You connect to the long and full in-breath through the nose, out-breath through the nose. From here, take your left hand back, your right arm up. Just open your upper chest. Keep a nice engagement of the arm. Nice opening to the chest. Exhale, release your hand down. In yoga, we practice the in-breath and the out-breath through the nose in order to create this feeling of calmness. Nostril breathing serves to calm the autonomic nervous system. So you can shift from the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, to the parasympathetic nervous system simply by shifting your breath and, of course, doing these postures. Now come to your belly again. In our first pose, we were opening the upper chest through the forearms and through Cobra pose. In our fourth pose, Dhanurasana, we'll lift up the feet, so we'll get a little stretch to the tops of the thighs and reach our hands back. So as you do, in-breath as you rise up, exhale, soften. In-breath as you lift up. Exhale, soften. One more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. As you progress in your yoga practice, you may wish to hold on to your feet. So you can grab hold of the feet and inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. One more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. Release your feet down. Come to all fours position. Through all fours position, come to sit. And sit in such a way that your left leg is down, your right foot is to the outside of the left leg, so the right knee is lifted. And for some of us, that can be challenging. If you find yourself really out of balance in that pose, straighten your bottom leg. This is called Ardha Matsyendosana. It's our fifth pose to help really open up the chest to create length. As you keep the right leg very active, turn toward the inner right leg and get this nice fullness of breath. And you may remember the in-breath through the nose. You're kind of backing off slightly in the twist. It's the out-breath through the nose that you go a little bit deeper in your twist. Take your left arm up, and as you reach up, just notice how much length you get. Now you can take your hand back to the outer knee, or some of us can even work to get the arm straight, maybe even hold on to the ankle area so that you can keep this nice openness of the upper chest. As you open your heart and you stay attuned to the in-breath through the nose and the exhale breath through the nose. Now come out of the pose and trade sides. Once again, as you bend your right knee and press your left foot down, just turn your heart toward the inner knee. If you feel out of balance seated, then by all means, straighten the bottom leg in this pose. Number 5, Ardha Matsyendosana. As you turn toward the inner knee, use your left hand behind you to allow more fullness, more length in the pose. Use the fullness of the in-breath, and especially on twist, the out-breath where you can go deeper. On the in-breath, take your right arm up. On the out-breath, just go a little bit deeper in the twist. You can take the hand to the outer knee. You can straighten the arm if you wish. Just find a form of the pose that allows you to just stay, and in this practice, take your attention to your breath. Just notice how inspired you become when you stay attuned to breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. It truly shifts your practice when you can not only do the nostril breathing in your yoga practice, but then take what you've learned off the mat to continue the nostril breath work throughout your day. You can release out of your pose as you're ready. And for our final pose, lie on your back with your knees bent. As you lie on your back with your knees bent, press your elbows down and lift your pelvis up. So Setubandha Sarvangasana is certainly one way to create this nice fullness in the chest. Breathe in through the nose Breathe out through the nose. And release your pelvis down. If in your practice you go to a full back bend or Urdhva Dhanurasana, a full wheel pose, by all means you could try that. So whether it be the same pose we just did, lifting the pelvis, or taking your hands over your head and lift the pelvis, then your head, to lift up fully in Urdhva Dhanurasana, by all means, whichever pose works nicely for you. And as you're ready, you can slowly come out of the pose and release your legs. Place your hands just below the ribs, just like when we were checking out the movement of the diaphragm when we did the cough. Now breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Soften your facial muscles. And breathe very freely in through the nose and out long through the nose. Breathe in. Breathe out long. Breathe in. Breathe out long. Breathe in. Breathe out long. You can keep your focus to the breath. If you need to go on to your daily activities, by all means, move slowly to resume the activities of your day. To the teachings of yoga that allow us to bring this fullness of health to the lungs and a way to bring calmness to our day. We bow to these teachings. Namaste.